printed into these little models.
Cool.
And I've got one in my hand. They sent me a few of them. I've got Rick. They're all in their classic poses. So Rick is in that pose where he's pointing his gun and it's angled slightly down, you know?
Yeah.
Like
is he
when
saying
you
what?
took a picture of me. Remember when I was in my Rick cosplay?
Yeah.
He's not saying anything, but it's crazy. I'm just pointing the gun right at my face, and it's kind of scary. He's got that intense look on his face. Just a little tiny thing, and it's really detailed. And I've got Michonne here. She's like got her sword about ready to chop a zombie with this intense look on her face. It looks like there's a zombie head on the ground next to her. Yeah, there's a couple of them. Got Merle here. He's kind of crouched over with his knife hand. His gun.
Excellent.
I can point Rick's gun right at Merle's face.
Or have Michonne about to chop off Merle's head.
Or I can have Merle about to stick Michonne in the back. Just kidding. But anyways, they're pretty cool. They're, if you're a true Walking Dead fan and you'd love to have these up on your bookshelf or, around your desk or whatever. Each one comes with this booklet, a character booklet that has photos, and it's really nicely done, and it summarizes all like their key moments in the show and things like that. It's a subscription thing, so you get 2 models a month, and after your 5th shipment, you get Rick's sheriff badge, and after your 7th, you get Herschel's pocket watch.
Oh,
it's kind of cool.
Great. That's awesome.
You can start today with Rick Grimes for only $4.95 and free shipping. And you can order that at twdcollection.com/deadcast. That's twdcollection.com/deadcast.
Very cool. I hope that you're going to collect them all. I want to see them.
I have a few. Yeah. Might have to give some of these away for prizes sometime coming up soon.
Oh, we should do that. Have a contest.
Yeah, but not Rick. I'm keeping Rick. So we have, I'm sick, as you may be able to tell. Excuse my voice. Eric was sick on Under the Comic Covers this week.
You guys, you've been traveling a lot too.
Yeah, I think I caught it by listening to them.
Yeah, can you catch something through a podcast?
Nobody listen to Under the Comic Covers.
No, everybody listen to Under the Comic Covers
kidding.
and we'll all catch the same thing.
Eric's like, screw you, man. I'm just kidding. That's a great show. We have another new show, speaking of shows, in our Podcastica network.
Do we?
Another one, yeah. Well, last week I announced it's the One Mind podcast, which is devoted to meditation, and hope you guys got a chance to listen to that. We have another one. There'll be an announcement at the end, and there's a few other things to announce at the end, so stay tuned all the way to the end, you guys.
Sweet.
And then one more thing before we get started. Next week, I just want to let you know I'll be a day late because I'm going to be at Heroes and Villains Fan Fest in Chicago. So we'll come out on Wednesday next week. All right.
Attention shoppers, Deadcast Top 5 in 5, 4, 3, 2.
All right. It's our Deadcast Top 5. This week it's our Top 5 highlights for Season 6, Episode 12, Not Tomorrow Yet.
Yeah.
Sigh.
Overall.
Sigh. What do you think?
This was a perfectly good episode, but like nearly everything this half of the season, I'm having kind of a hard time enjoying it. And I think to be completely honest, the dumb decisions are getting in the way of my enjoyment. And by dumb decisions, I mean not my dumb decisions, although those often do get in the way of my enjoyment.
I watched it with the sound turned all the way down and it just wasn't working.
Dumb decision. The decisions about going over and doing the preemptive strike against Negan's camp.
You just weren't on board with that.
Other than that, full of action, story moving forward quickly, some good character development, and there were some things I really did enjoy. But all in all, I am having a problem with liking our group because it's come to this. It's come to us maybe officially being the bad guys.
Yep. I read something recently saying, when you see like a speech or a movie or a TV show or whatever it is, anything, you tend to remember whatever the most emotionally intense moment was, and then the thing that happened at the end. So if something is really great mostly, but there was one really like downer moment, then that'll just kind of put a bad taste in your mouth about it.
Yeah.
So
Right.
this episode, like you said, it had some good things, but the emotionally intense moment was also at the end, and it was a huge downer. So it to me, it just feels like, I mean, it's hard to judge the episode on its own merits when you're left feeling like shit afterwards.
Yes,
which is how
exactly.
I felt.
Exactly. But you know what? That wasn't the most emotionally downer moment for me. It was when Glenn and Heath killed the guys in their sleep.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, that was it for me too.
Yeah,
That was
a
the moment
downer
where
moment.
I was just thinking, and on top of it being a downer, because you question whether, or I should say I question whether they should be doing what they're doing at all. And it's taking away Glenn's innocence. He's never killed anyone before,
Yes.
so that's a bit of a downer. But then on top of that, there's that thing that Walking Dead sometimes does, which is it's kind of sloppy, and I really don't believe that you could go around knifing that many guys so quietly without anyone else noticing. You know?
Those guys were really, really
It's
deep
just like,
sleepers. Yeah.
I just, I don't know. I mean, maybe I just don't know, and it is possible to do that. But for one thing, how would they know it's possible to do that?
Right.
They have no experience with that.
Nope. Nope.
So I'm like, God, if you're going to do a scene like this that's so like emotionally wrenching, at least make it have logical sense. Because if you're going to make it seem stupid, then it's like, I'm just going to be doubly annoyed at it.
Right. Exactly. So overall, though, what did you think about the episode?
Well, it did the thing that Walking Dead always does, or often does. I mean, it made me think and start questioning things and really, try to put myself in their position. And I wasn't fully, I didn't, fully know for sure what to think. I think I'm more clear on it now that I've thought about it a bit. But, I mean, it's another one of those uncomfortable episodes with the moral dilemma about whether it's okay to kill defenseless people. And we've seen that many times before on The Walking Dead, or a handful of times anyway. But this time it was more extreme because they were in their sleep, and also there were many of them. So it was more on a bigger scale. And that kind of thing, even though I think I debate about whether it can be valuable for a show like this to present something like that, it just leaves me feeling not good. Yeah. And so I'm sort of like you were with Game of Thrones. I'm like, do I really want to watch this? Even if it does make sense that you might have to make these kind of choices in a situation like this, do I really want to watch a TV show that makes me feel like crap?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't need to. So I'm back and forth. I mean, there is definitely a part of me that appreciates it, that I like to go places that aren't so comfortable. I mean, I think most fans of The Walking Dead are like that to a degree, but this just pushed it really far enough that I would question whether it was too far. I can't answer. I don't know.
Yeah. It was a tough episode all around.
Well, why don't you get started with your number 5?
So having said all that, I'm just going to launch into my number 5, which, since we're on the topic anyway, the plan. And the plan, there's arguments for and arguments against. Certainly there are arguments for. I mean, the guys that Daryl, Sasha, and Abraham met on the road seemed awful. They were the ones who ended up getting the sharp end of the rocket launcher, by the way. So they were awful people, you can tell. And Daryl quickly dispatched them. So right now, here's what we know about the people in the sanctuary. We know that they're strong-arming the hilltop community for food, or in exchange for protection or whatever that means. And
they're also sometimes kidnapping them, knifing their leader, so they're actually physically harming them too.
Absolutely. And yes, exactly. So we have that encounter. And then there was the encounter some episodes ago where the people were escaping into the forest. Remember, Daryl found them and they were getting away from Negan. And you could also tell that Negan was just judging from what they were saying and what they were implying, Negan was a terrible person.
And
so
then they weren't so nice to Daryl either.
Right, exactly. So we know that this group is terrible, and we know that if you hit them first, you have the element of surprise.
Right.
So that's
like,
good.
Morgan's thing about, well, if you really think you can beat them, then just tell them that and then give them the opportunity to back off. But the way to beat them is to have the element of surprise. So it doesn't really work the way Morgan was saying.
Right, exactly. Right. And Morgan, thank you. We appreciate your input, and you're absolutely right. Thank you very much. Okay, sit down now. Bye.
Anyone else?
So those are two. And we also know that they're going to find out about them probably sooner rather than later. At some point, they're going to find out about Alexandria, although they haven't found out so far. And it seems like Alexandria is not moving any closer to the sanctuary or any farther. So why haven't they found out by now? Who the hell knows? Maybe even the Hilltop community would give them up in exchange for something, So it would be a risky thing to just say, okay, we're just going to wait here until they eventually find us.
A huge part of this is that they were just attacked by these savages, the wolves, who killed many of their people and also drew in zombies who killed more of their people.
Right.
So that plays a giant part in why they're so ready to go off and do something like this, especially Aaron, who feels like it was his fault that the wolves found them. He's like ready to go off and preemptively strike now.
And he did. And he got that one guy up against the wall and said, if it wasn't us, it'd be, or wait, if it's not you, it's us, something like that.
I didn't really get what he was saying, but I kind of get the idea.
Yeah, I get the idea that you've been traumatized.
To say either you're going to die or we're going to die, and I'd rather it be you, something like that.
Better you than me. Right. Yeah. Which is another way to say it.
Yeah.
So, okay, those are all valid reasons for striking first. But there are plenty of arguments against it, which is they haven't found Alexandria yet, so what's the rush? And can you wait? Can you fortify Alexandria in the meantime? Can you see how this all shakes out? Is this really an all-out war? Is this what this world has become, where we are these little fiefdoms and then we all just, get in our little villages and beat the crap out of each other? Is that what we are now? I mean, killing guys in their sleep. That's pretty hardcore. So, yeah, I think there's a middle ground, which is how about if instead of rushing in the very next day or night, whenever they were doing it, how about making a plan and coming up with some contingencies and sending in somebody to get an ID on Negan so you know what this Negan guy looks like? And how about getting a little sneaky about killing them? And there's many things you could have done, and they just rushed in full of confidence, and they're all cocky about what they can achieve.
How badass they are.
Yeah, there's no question. They're badass.
They definitely should have found out some more information before making this move.
God, what
right?
does...
That's the clear. Like, no matter what you think about whether what they did was right morally, the smart thing to do would be to scout them out a little bit first.
Yes.
Because I think that's going to actually come back to bite them in the ass. They didn't kill Negan.
Yeah, they didn't even know if they killed Negan. They have no idea what the guy even looks like.
Right.
So... yeah, I think that this was probably folly, and I think it's already come back to bite them on the ass because now Maggie and Carol are hostage. So, yeah, just saying. All right, there.
They're probably
there you
just
go.
having tea or something. No.
Also, I gotta say, Rick seems a little bit crazy. I mean, he says, "This is how we eat," and I'm thinking, no, this is not how you eat, you dumbass. I would have said that farming and scavenging, that's actually how you eat.
Remember back at the prison when you learned all about farming for like a year?
Right, exactly.
You had the pigs
and then you decided you ditched all of that. Yeah, it's really kind of annoying.
I mean, I think the point is supposed to be that they're starving and they have no alternative. We could logically figure out that they do, but we're supposed to just take it on faith that they're feeling like they don't.
Yeah, you know what, though? They're not really starving. If there's enough cookies to go around so that you can lay a cookie. I mean, it was very sweet, but Carol put a cookie on top of Sam's grave. Seems like if you've got enough food to put cookies on somebody's grave, then you probably have enough food for now. So it didn't look like they're starving. I mean, there's acorns. You can scavenge acorns and make more, and there's plenty of things you can do, people. So as Jesus says, maybe this is the new world, though. I mean,
that's so funny. As Jesus says.
As Jesus says.
Maybe we must kill to survive. Okay. Anything else?
No, that was my rant. Thank you for listening to my rant.
Yeah, I mean, my number 5 is pretty much the same thing, and whether it was right to do this or not. And it sure felt upsetting to see them go in and silently kill a bunch of sleeping people.
Yes.
I don't know, they panned up to all those Polaroids with people's heads caved in to show that, well, at least these guys in this room are probably not the nicest guys, are probably horrible people, and other, to be, totally clear.
Yes. But, and you know what? I really wish that they had made those sleeping guards women. Because imagine how hard that would have been. Then you see women sleeping in there. Would Glenn and Heath have been able to knife them in the heads? I mean, we're supposed to.
What if there were
think
some children in there?
Oh, I know.
Then
what if it's a pregnant woman?
They probably would have just taken them out or something.
Yeah, is that how it is? I mean, Rick says kill everybody. Really, you're going to murder children now?
But there were some women. When Heath and Glenn shot through the door. Yep. There was at least one girl out there. Yep. They killed. Yep. And then the woman on the walkie-talkie at the end.
Yeah,
but I was thinking, it seems so extreme to just go in, for your plan to be to go in and kill everybody. Like, I think even in war, people don't do that. That's genocide, isn't it?
It is.
Where you just go in and wipe out a whole people. What if they have soldiers like Woodbury, and then there's a bunch of innocent people just like in Woodbury? What if that was how they were organized?
I know.
It could very easily be that. Rick had the same plan back at the hospital. Let's just go in and kill everybody. Daryl talked him out of it.
Right. Right. Nobody tried to talk him out of it. I mean, Morgan stood up and said, are you sure we can do this? And Rick's like, yeah. That's it. End of meeting.
I mean, like I said, I was sort of debating whether I thought maybe this was, even though it makes me feel queasy and horrible, maybe it was the right thing to do. But as soon as I realized, you know what, maybe some of these people aren't bad. Maybe it's like I just said, like Woodbury, there's some mercenary class, but there might be other innocent people who don't even know what their leader's doing, just like in Woodbury. Then as soon as I realized that's a possibility because they don't know shit about these people, then no, that was not the right thing to do.
Right.
It was horrible.
Right. Exactly.
So
exactly.
That's what I think.
And it was very surprising that somebody like Tara, who had followed the governor blindly to the raid on the prison, and we saw how well that went, that she also didn't stand up and say, you know what, I've done this before. We don't actually know enough about you people. The governor says we can, we should just take you all out. You're all awful people.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be the same kind of situation. Maybe Negan is like a charismatic leader like the governor.
Yeah, I mean, she knows Rick well enough to know that he's not trying to trick anybody like the governor was.
He's not, but man, he's making crap decisions.
Yeah. But did you catch that he said, right before they panned over to her, Rick said, kill them all, which is exactly what the governor yelled when they were in front of the prison.
Kill them all. Oh, God, it's terrible.
So based on what I can see from our listener feedback, I don't know, I could be wrong, but there's a pretty large percentage of people who thought that what they did was the right thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, we'll get to that, but
our bloodthirsty listeners.
We love you guys.
Love you.
All right, your turn. Number 4.
All right, so number 4 was Carol. I loved the introduction. I love that music, which I found out was called Weeds or Wildflowers by a group called Parsonsfield. And I love the music. I love the little montage of her baking cookies. It's so sweet. And then as she's walking around Alexandria to distribute the cookies, you can see her holding her little bag and her little batches of cookies. And she's got the gun in her holster on her hip. So there she is, Sally Homemaker, with a gun on her hip. Which
and I like
fabulous.
She was picking acorns, and she had to just kind of dispatch one pesky zombie, but it was still kind of a nice going through your daily business.
Well, except that when she dispatched the zombie, she got blood all over her nice white shirt, and then she had to go home and change. And I got to tell you, Carol, the zombie apocalypse is hard on whites. Stick to dark colors.
But it could have almost been like she was just out gardening and she got some mud on her shirt or something.
Totally. Oh, damn.
Oh, well.
And I like that they're evolving her. She's a really interesting character. And she feels guilty about Sam.
Yeah.
And
I think she had a list of the people
yeah.
that she's killed, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And she was not looking happy about that.
Did you catch the list?
I didn't look too closely. I
looked closely. I actually froze it on there. And the list included R. And I'm not exactly sure who that's referring to. Somebody said on The Talking Dead they thought it was Lizzie and Mika's dad, whose name was like Ryan or something like that.
Maybe
K and D
stands for Rick because she's planning on killing him.
Yes, that's probably it. K and D, which Karen and David. L, Lizzie. Terminus Courtyard, 3. Candlewoman 5, Wolves 7, and so 18 it was the total, which is a pretty big number. And some of those were ones that she hadn't killed directly. Some were just that she let, like when she let the zombies into the candle room, she knows that those people got bit, so she indirectly killed them.
Counts them.
Yeah, 18, big number.
Yeah, this was a great episode for her because it really made it feel more fuller, her being, I guess, because she's been so ruthless, but I got a sense that she's not happy about that. She doesn't like having to be that way, but she feels the need to protect people. And I'm jumping ahead here a little bit, but since we're on the topic, so when she's hanging out with Tobin, I think the way that Tobin really won her over was she felt so seen by him because he said, what you do is so scary, which is like the typical reaction to Carol. You're a scary person. But then he said, like, you're strong, you're a mom, and you're like everyone's mom. And that's like kind of a twisted example of, the twisted result of losing her child is that now she's become the mom for everybody. And the way she's protecting them is by just putting out anything that could be seen as a threat.
Right.
And I think she really fell in love with him right in that moment.
Yeah, that's probably true.
But I also loved that she, that Rosita was, I'm going to tell on Morgan, and he didn't want to, come here. And Carol's like, well, what's wrong with that? He doesn't want to kill people. So it made me feel like even though she doesn't have the same point of view, she has some sympathy for it.
She sure did seem that way. I know, which is a new way of her thinking. And by the way, what did she mean by, if we tell the group about Morgan, we need to protect Denise?
I guess because Denise was sort of helping the guy.
Oh, helping the wolf
guy?
That's
what I thought it meant, yeah.
And so if she tells him about... nobody knows
she was, doctoring him and stuff.
Yeah, nobody knows the wolf was alive. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that he was being kept down. Yeah, that's probably it. That would be how you protect Denise. Yes, thank you. Thank you for clearing that up.
I think, yeah.
So, yeah, that was it. Just Carol, and now she's smoking cigarettes, too. I've never seen her smoke before, I don't think.
I haven't noticed. I think there's been, a situation before where she picked up a cigarette and then put it down or something like that. When Daryl had some cigarettes. Yeah.
And now she's going around. She can't sleep. She's smoking.
I had a little back and forth with, I think it was Christine Hallberg online, because I had mentioned that somebody said Daryl's voice was the result of just being out in the dryness. And I was like, well, why not Eugene? Why is it his voice? And then she said, well, that was me who said that. And it's also because he's a heavy smoker. And so I'm like, yeah, maybe you have a point there. I couldn't think of anybody else who really smokes except Abraham smokes cigars, but I don't know. I don't think cigars do that to your voice.
That's funny. I don't see him smoking much anymore. Probably
he was this episode.
Was he?
Yep, I think so. I've noticed that now that I had that back and forth.
Probably cigarettes are harder to find now. You can't just go down to a liquor store, to the packy, and get a pack of smokes.
he's like when he goes out on his scouting trips, he's like Woody Harrelson looking for a Twinkie.
Right, exactly.
He's like, gotta find my smokes.
Gotta find my smokes.
So my turn.
Yep.
Okay, mine's along the same lines as yours. I loved just the contrast from the beginning of this episode to the end.
Yep.
You know, that happy-go-lucky song at the beginning. At the end, we have Glenn knifing people.
Yes.
It's like, oh, I think they did that on purpose, man. This show went downhill. And that song, I was looking at the lyrics, and it's very dense and it's poetic, and it's hard to tell exactly what it's about, at least without thinking about it some more, maybe. But it seemed like it was the struggle of life in various aspects, and sometimes you're complacent, and sometimes you work really hard, and you look ahead, and you watch time pass. And I guess the whole weeds or wildflowers is just wondering if all the struggle will result in, you know, you being kind of worked over and ruined or bear fruit or whatever.
Wow, interesting. Thank you for looking that up.
Here's some lyrics. And as I watch the brick erode from day to day, the leaves change their colors and the loft fills with hay. As a blade of sunshine cuts across my chest, the blood beneath boils with unrest. Blown about by the wind, a worthless little thing, but the world can feel the changes of a butterfly's wing. And that crooked burning cigarette rolling on your tongue will leave its weeds before your flowers yet have sprung. That last phrase there, that crooked burning cigarette rolling on your tongue will leave its weeds before your flowers yet have sprung, corresponds with that scene where she smokes just the first part of the cigarette and then throws it away.
Throws it away angrily. Wow, that's interesting. And you know, it's interesting too that the melody is kind of peppy, and it has a much deeper meaning than the music would imply.
It's a bit heavier, but it's sort of just like life. But the one other thing I want to say, I enjoyed when she was passing out cookies that we saw some new faces.
Yeah.
Because I think it's good because the group is bigger than what we've seen, and that gives a sense of that. It's kind of like the log carrying people on Lost.
Yeah, and they didn't all show up in the church too to talk about the plan. There was probably only about 20 people in that church, I don't think. And
I mean, I really do think that everybody would show up, but they can't have everybody show up because they don't have the whole town cast. So they have to leave to explain it. Just have, you know, a few show up and say that the other people are still in their homes.
They're very shy,
you know, or they could do it like Lost and just have the log carrying people just sort of change over the season based on which extras are available.
Right. Is that what they did on Lost?
Yeah, because there was always this one cute girl with a blue striped shirt, and then she just kind of disappeared. And I'm like, what happened to her?
I didn't even notice that. That is hilarious. Oh, well spotted.
All right, your turn.
All right. My number 3 is Abraham and Rosita. Folks, if you want to know how not to break up with somebody, this is an excellent way to not break up with somebody. Or maybe if you want to know the douchiest way to break up with somebody.
You were saying he better let her down gently. So it didn't quite satisfy that?
No. This would be the opposite of gentle. So he broke up with her right before a big battle where they're both going to have to, you know, have all of their attention and try to have everything focused right on the battle. Nope. He does it right before the big battle. Okay, so that's nice.
Strike number 1.
Yes, exactly. And then telling her, I thought you were the last woman on earth. You weren't. Oh, God, what a dick.
Yeah, that's true, huh?
Oh,
well, I thought if there were no other women, then I would go with you. But now that there are others.
Yeah. See him. Yeah. I mean, that's the
Why did he do that? Why does he do that? And she's really cool, too. She's only been cool to him that we've seen.
She's only been cool to him.
And beautiful.
I mean, really cool to him.
Yeah.
And he's, what a...
Why?
You know,
I could understand sort of him not being able to articulate his feelings. Like, you know what?
Sure.
I'm sorry, honey. I'm not feeling it lately, and I don't know what to do. I mean, I'm sucking at this too. There's no good way to break up, but, you know, just sort of try to explain and say, and I've been around Sasha and I'm just feeling it for her, or I at least try to explain why. But instead he's like, oh, I'm leaving. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, and I thought you were the last woman. I thought you were the last woman on Earth. That's
But
so
you
mean.
weren't.
It makes me think that he was intentionally trying to get her to, like, maybe, I don't know, maybe he has a death wish and he just needs her to completely let go of him, and that's the only way. Like, if he even left any sort of niceness or hope or whatever, she would be devastated. Like, maybe he's planning to throw himself into this. I don't know.
Right.
I don't
like
actually
when,
know.
Yeah, like I think it was in Land of the Lost when this kid wanted his cute pet dinosaur to go away forever, so he pretended to hate the dinosaur.
Yes,
like that.
it's just like that. Right. Or no, how about something even more germane? Game of Thrones. Do you remember when Arya is trying to get her?
Oh no, I don't want to spoil. Can't spoil stuff from Game of Thrones.
It's from season 1.
People will not like it.
Oh, fine.
Land of the Lost is okay because that's from the 70s.
Oh, you're spoiling Land of the
Oh
Lost.
no, I'm gonna get in trouble. Well, the one saving grace about that whole scene was that she turned and saw Eugene in a shirt that said "Virginia is for lovers."
Yeah, that was pretty great. That was great. And the look on his face was just fantastic.
I want to try this sandwich or whatever. I forgot what to say.
Oh, I think he was telling her to try the cookies. He's like, have you tried these cookies?
Anyway, it's funny.
Beat an acorn.
Okay.
Turns out you have to leach the toxins out of them.
All right. Let's see. Before I do my number 3, we'll do our second sponsor, which is Loot Crate. Loot Crate has come back.
Woo!
Yay. Loot Crate, in case you don't know, it's a monthly subscription box for like epic geek and gamer items and pop culture gear. For less than $20, you get 4 to 8 of these items. You get licensed gear, clothes, collectibles. It's a surprise, so it could be anything. A lot of times it's unique, one-of-a-kind items. Like Nico still plays with one of the ones I got. It's a half Joker, half Batman. So it's a little thing that looks like it's shaped like Batman, but it has Joker's face and colors on it. He loves that.
He likes the villains.
Yeah, he does. You're right. So if you go to lootcrate.com/deadcast and enter code deadcast, you get $3 off any new subscription. It's also a big community of fans that share their experience and interact with each other around the unboxing of each month's crate. If you're into that, you can go on and just talk to the other Loot Crate fans. And the best part, they guarantee $40 plus value in every crate, and sometimes it's a lot more. So it's less than $20, and you definitely get $40 plus value in each one. Like I said, every month there's a different theme, and all the items are curated around that theme. So they've had things around Star Wars, Marvel, The Walking Dead, Legend of Zelda, and all kinds of other stuff. This month it's Versus, which comes just in time for Superman versus Batman, or Batman v Superman, coming up later this month.
Cool.
Which I'm excited to see, even though it could be a huge train wreck. I'm definitely going to watch it. So there's stuff in here related to Dark Knight versus Man of Steel, Alien versus Predator, Spock versus Mirror Universe Spock,
Awesome.
Daredevil versus Punisher, and it says Harley Quinn versus everyone. So they say their exclusive items include something you can display, something you can wear, and something you can use. And if you want to get that one, which actually sounds pretty cool, I think you have until the 19th at 9 p.m. Pacific to subscribe. That's how it is each month. By the 19th at 9, then you get that month's box or that month's crate. And then that's when the cutoff happens, and then it's over. So if you want to get that, go to lootcrate.com/deadcast and enter code deadcast to save $3 on your subscription.
Thanks, Loot Crate.
Thank you. And my number 3 is the Carolification of the group.
Yeah.
Because this episode, was about Carol's arc and how she's come to be this ruthless person for the good of the group and taking, preemptive measures. That's what she does. And now here's everybody else doing the same thing, except for Morgan.
Yeah. And oddly, sort of not Carol. You notice she wasn't in the first group to go into the compound and try to kill people. So it's de-Carolization of Carol. and the extra Carolization of the rest of the group.
Carolification.
Carolification. What did I say? Carolization?
It's the same thing. I'm just giving you a hard time. Yeah. I thought it was a good move to have her hang back. You think maybe it was just because she's having a change of heart? I didn't necessarily think that.
Not that she's having a change of heart, but I think the people that she's killed, the humans that she's killed, that's weighing on her. The loss of Sam weighed on her, and she's starting to maybe think maybe this Morgan guy isn't so wrong after all. Is what I got out of it.
Maybe she is sort of having a change of heart. It could be.
Just a thought.
Yeah. Oh man. If there's a big change with Carol, everybody's going to speculate that she's about to die.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I guess that's about
you know
all
what
I
she
had to say.
She had her kiss with Tobin, and anytime there's a little bit of happiness, sometimes that gets crushed out.
Yeah.
So maybe she is setting herself up for a big death.
Ooh.
Maybe. Well, she's not setting herself up. The writers are.
Well, do you think that there will be a big death this season?
I do. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I do.
So in our next week on the Walking Dead section, at the end, I think we should have a spoilery discussion about that. I don't know anything, but just based on some stuff that happens in the comic book.
Okay.
So if you guys want to hear that, it's not super spoilery, but if you guys want to hear that, go listen to that section this week.
What if I don't want to hear that
anything
section?
That's going to happen in the show. I'm not going to tell you anything you don't know.
Okay. Good.
Okay, what's your number 2?
Okay, my number 2 was actually the raid, and we sort of already touched on the raid itself. So my number 1 was or number 5 was the plan. And should there have been a raid at all? Well, whatever. There was a raid. And the raid, I thought, was done pretty well. I loved the beginning of it when they tricked the guards and, the guard whistled happy birthday. And they were all stealth. And that was very good. I thought.
And I liked the tenseness when he was holding up the Gregory head and the guard pretended to not, or it seemed like he wasn't believing it, and then he's like, whatever he said.
You broke my nose.
Yeah. That was good.
My nose broke your hand.
He had this kind of funny voice that you didn't expect to come out of him.
Right, exactly. And you didn't expect him to use the head as a puppet, and there he is using the head as a puppet. Wow, the zombie apocalypse has really done a number on these people. I'm
pretty sure that guy would vote for Donald Trump.
They were very ninja-like, they were, dun, 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 and they were, inside. And almost implausibly, that in the fog of war, no friendly fire killed our people. So I kept thinking that somebody's going to die in friendly fire. Nope. They took out all the people they needed to take out, they thought. But, the end of the raid, all of a sudden, they go through a door, and they're like, oh, yeah, that was everybody, I guess. And everybody's relaxing, and Tara and Heath are like, okay, we're going to leave for our run now. And I was like, wait, no, there's more to that. This is going to be a big freaking compound. There's more people. Don't relax. And I was yelling at the television, as I do. And right then, the Daryl's motorcycle and some dude come roaring out. They get the guy, and then the walkie-talkies come on.
Yeah, I mean, I got the impression that this place was maybe just an outpost or something, and that Negan and his people are somewhere else. But
they didn't think that.
Whatever the case is, they missed that one guy.
Oh my God. You know what? If they had just done their homework and done a little recognizance, if it is an outpost, which I didn't even consider, but yeah, you're right. If that is an outpost, then they would have figured that out by doing their homework a little bit ahead of time and sending out some people to figure out what was going on.
Right. but whether it was an outpost or not, they obviously missed at least one guy.
Yes.
On a motorcycle.
Right. Yes.
He was hiding under something.
Right.
Could have
right. Yeah.
Okay. My number 2 was Abraham and Rosita, but we covered that.
All right, my number one is Rick, Jesus, and Andy looking at the Zed heads to determine which one most resembles Gregory. It was my favorite little sequence of the episode when then they told Rick that the nose isn't right, and the one that they thought looked like
Yes.
looked like Gregory.
He punches it.
And then he's like, he fought back. You broke your hand. And then they looked at him and he's like, what?
What?
And then I love that Andy said something like, I know that, Negan's scary, but he's got nothing on you, pal.
Yeah. It was like picking out curtains. Well, here's an array of choices. Do you like this one? This one's like a nice pukey gray.
Right, exactly. But the expression is
right, not quite Gregory like. That thing about him saying what, which he said last episode
he did.
2.
Mm-hmm.
What? It's so funny. I totally forgot about this, but in Atlanta, when I moderated his panel in October, one of my questions was, I was like, do you realize that it's a big thing for people to go stuff and thanks? And he's like, what? He kind of smiled at me. And I'm like, or Carl. And then he didn't hear me. And he's like, what? And the whole audience goes, Carl. And he smiled. And I'm like, yeah, you're kind of a cultural touchstone now. So you can say these things and they're just going to spread out into the culture. And he goes, oh, well, you know what? There's one coming up later this season. You guys ready for it? And they're like, yeah. And he goes, what? And I thought he was totally just kidding around, right?
And he's not.
I thought it was a joke,
Nope.
but it turns out it's not.
What? Right. And unless you understand that what he's done is leaving people gobsmacked with their jaws
There's
hanging
no
open,
way
you don't understand what the what signifies.
Yeah, it just seemed like a stupid thing that he just made up. But it was funny. I mean, everybody laughed, but it's like, no, he was telling the truth.
Yep, sure was.
Which is pretty awesome. Anyway.
What's your number one?
My number one is Carol and Tobin, which I thought was actually kind of a cute couple.
Yeah.
It came out of the blue, right? We hadn't really seen them before, but with so many cast members, and Carol wasn't even in last week's episode, so they could have been taking a walk in the woods the whole time for all we know.
Aw, so romantic.
Yeah. I liked their little exchanges. I never was much of a beat guy. Well, just put it in your mouth, jerk.
Yes, it was very cute.
She called him an asshole later.
Yep, she sure did.
Yeah, that's how you know Carol has a crush on you.
Yeah, when you get called an asshole.
The cuss words start coming out. Hey, fucker. But I said, I think she really felt seen by him in that moment and appreciated. And then when she said, it's not tomorrow yet, what does that mean?
It's not tomorrow yet, man.
That's what it means. Wow. It means let's go inside.
It's not tomorrow. We got all night, pal. Wow, that didn't come out right.
So how do you think if Tobin and Carol end up being a couple long enough for anybody to notice, how do you think Daryl will react to that?
Happy for her, of course.
Think so? Yeah.
He's such a good friend. Yeah.
He's got to approve of Tobin.
Yes, he has to approve of Tobin. Right. You're absolutely right. Nobody can be probably good enough for his Carol.
But no jealousy.
No. Why would there be jealousy? They could have